Bust down, Barbiana, bust down, Barbiana. Bust down and pick that shit up. Bust down and pick that shit up. Bust it open and pick that shit up. Bust it open and pick that shit up. Hey, yo.
What the fuck is tea, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so this is the second part to my coming out video. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. So we're just gonna get started. Okay. Okay, so like I said, I was terrified. I was scared. I couldn't go to sleep. You know, so I didn't go to school that day, of course. There was a lot of, even though, okay, there was a lot of like drama that was going around the school or whatever, because Moreno Valley is really small, especially being kids, because not everybody knows everybody, but everybody knows everybody's business, kind of, sort of. Okay, so it was the next morning. I woke up like a regular day. I had to, she told me I'm not going to school today, that I'm going to just stay home. At that time, like I said, I did not feel safe. I felt like my life was in shambles. Like, I just felt like I wasn't going to, it sucks to say, but it feels like I wasn't going to live to see the next day. That's just how I felt, because I know how this individual was and what she did to get what she wanted. So she told me I wasn't going home. I'm going to school. So I just did my normal chores, which was taking out the trash and stuff like that. But also, they wanted me. She wanted me to pick, you know, weeds, like the grass. You know, like I said, this individual was cruel. Like, she was very cruel. She had me pick weeds. But I just felt attention. Like, I just couldn't stay there. Like, I couldn't. Two of my cousins came to check on me. At that time, I didn't trust nobody, so I, you know, told them I was cool or whatever. Because she would also have, you know, the kids, you know, like when one would get in trouble, like to get like information or whatever. Like, it was really like over the top. Whew, sorry. So I was scared to go to school. I was scared. So I went to the front to pick the weeds or whatever. And something, I was just like looking down the street and I'm like, just go. Like, nobody's here, nobody's around. Like, you can just go. Like, I did track, so I knew I could run. I knew could run fast or whatever. So I'm like, you know, just go. So I started looking around, and I just didn't know if anybody was looking through the window or anything like that. So I ran. I ran literally, like, it was like 2 blocks away my school. I ran. I just ran. I didn't look back. I didn't know if they were following me. I didn't know if they hopped in the car. Like, my mind was just, as I was running, my mind was just like, you know how Forrest was like, go Forrest, run. And he has like the people behind him, like the guys behind him throwing rocks and stuff at him. Like, that's how I felt. Like, I felt like I was running, and just run as fast as you can. Like, that's just how I felt. When I got to the school, I didn't even go see my friends or anything like that. I went straight to the counselor, straight to the principal's office. They can see that, you know, something was going on, something wasn't right. So they had me sit at the attendance office, and I told the attendance lady, like, because I was real cool with her, um, what had happened. And she just looked at me. She looked at me and she started tearing up. And I'm like, okay. She was like, you know what's so weird? And I was like, what? She was like, something told me today I was going to have to help somebody out that really never even needed helping out. And she was like, you're just so out of the ordinary. Like, you're always smiling, you're always happy, you're always giggly playing and stuff. Like, and for this to happen to you, um, she can obviously see that I wasn't, lying about what was going on. I had blood on my shirt. My face was like not bruised up, but it was like traumatized. So after that, I stayed inside the counselor's office, Miss Gomez's office, and she went through the story with me, and I told her everything that I could remember at that time. And I'm not gonna say she thought I was lying, but she was like, okay, like, these are your parents, like, why would they do this, you know? I told them not to call the parent, like, don't call my aunt, don't call nobody, but it's law that, that's what needed to be had. So, they came in later that day, and she just went off on my counselor and on me, and I warned my counselor, like, she doesn't listen, she's not really listening to this thing, whatever she thinks or whatever she feels like she knows, she's just gonna run with it, and everybody else are liars. So my counselor is trying to get us to, like, okay, you say what you have to say, Darren, and then your aunt's gonna say what she has to say. But before my counselor could even say that, she just went off and was like, no, since he told you everything, then that's what you're just gonna go by. I'm not talking to him. He better come home. If he doesn't, he could stay gone, and just like a lot of stuff. And at that time, I really didn't care, because that's how I felt. Like, I was willing to just be homeless on the street. Like, that's how terrified I was. Like, I was just scared. So my counselor ended up telling her, like, okay, can you just get out? Because she was just like kept yelling and stuff, and she was like, can you like leave or whatever, so that I can talk to Darren. She was talking to me and stuff like that, so I ended up going to the cops. There was a deputy, and if you're in high school, there's a deputy that's in that stays around campus or whatever for the safety and stuff. So I spoke to the deputy, and I asked him, like, okay, so I told him the whole story. Like, I was dating this guy that's at school. He's a grade younger than me, but he's 16, and my aunt's telling me this and that I can go to jail. But what he was saying was, it could be possible that you can, if the parents want to press charges and he too wants to press charges. And for the simple fact that we never did nothing sexual, I already knew, okay, they're not gonna press charges on me, because what the heck. So later on that, I think it was a couple of days after that, my counselor ended up getting me into a place that was down the street. They were Christian or whatever. So I was staying with them for a couple of days. Keep in mind, like I said, I had to graduate and stuff within that same week. So she just wanted me to be able to walk the stage, and whatever happens after that happens. So around that time, it was like a couple of days before graduation, we had a fair. And my aunt and everybody, like my cousins and all them, were looking for me. I didn't go to the fair. The fair was like basically in the basketball courts area, but I didn't go. Like I already knew that they were gonna end up showing up. Um, and my friend, okay, so my teacher had me in her classroom. Shout outs to Miss Davis because she was a real one. My teacher had me in her classroom. She said, "Okay, Darren, you're just gonna stay in here. I'll bring you back some food and stuff like that from the fair." So I'm like, "Okay, cool or whatever." She leaves. I'm in the classroom by myself. I'm on Facebook or whatever, and then one of my friends that I didn't even know, like I knew her, but we weren't. To be honest, like we knew each other from being each other's, from being in class with each other. Um, all I see, all I see is a big ass bird. All I see is a big ass bird coming to the classroom, and she took off her hat, and it was my friend. And she first thing she asked me was, "I okay? Did I need anything?" Um, I told her, "No, I'm good or whatever." I've always been like that since I was a kid, like not independent, but just self-absorbed. Like, I try not to ask for the most from people or whatever. So I'm like, I'm good. She was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit in this classroom with you, and we can just talk or whatever. So we're talking and stuff, and while we're talking, one of my cousins. Okay, so this is weird. Okay, we're talking in the classroom, and then I look outside, and then my teacher is coming, and one of my other like best friends is coming. Shout out to my best friend Ashley. She's coming, and while she's coming, my cousin comes to the door because she knows that I had that class. So not at that time, but she knew I had that class. So if that teacher knew me, she probably knew where I was. So she comes to the door, knocks on it, and this was one of my cousins that I was close to, like really really close. But like I said, at the time I couldn't trust nobody. So she's knocking, and I just don't answer the door. Knocking, just don't answer the door. She spots my teacher and my friend coming towards the classroom, and she asks them. I'm seeing all this because you could see the window, you could see out, but you can't see in. So she was like, "Have you seen Darren? Like, we're looking for him and stuff like that." And my teacher was like, "No, I haven't seen him at all." And my friend, she was like, "No, we haven't seen him." And so she walks away, and then they walk in the classroom, and we just talk about what just happened. When you think you have a lot of friends, and you're popping, but when stuff really hits the fan, you find out you really don't have a lot of friends like you thought you would. And I'm not saying friends as if like they're not your friends, but just friends like checking on you, seeing if you're okay, and they know what's going on around school or whatever. But to have these two friends that, in my mind, never did anything ill to me, never have I ever had to prove my friendship to them. But my friend that did come in the classroom with the ego outfit, I do have to apologize because when you're in 10th grade, it's probably going to kill me. But when we were in 10th grade, I had some classmates were making fun of her, and I believe it was because of who she was, being, I guess, I don't know if she was out at the time. I'm not gonna say she was out, but being who she, who she is, who she is. I didn't stop, because I was in the closet at the time, so I didn't stop anything. I laughed and stuff, like when they would bother her and stuff. But then to come find out 2 years later she would be helping me, it's crazy. You never know who's your friends until stuff really hits the fan, and who's down to have your back. And those two in particular, Ashley, you know who you are, and Sabrina, you know who you are. It's crazy. So, that was my coming out story. I do have more to say after, but that was like the main parts of what led to me coming out. And I don't know if you could say forced out, whatever, but hopefully, like, when you watch this in my experience, because everybody goes through different experiences, hopefully you learn something. And if you are trying to come out, or if you are trying to do something in your life, young, old, and someone's not there to support you, then that's all you have to do, is just let it be and just move on. Because you can't, I just learned to accept the person who they are. And a conversation is a conversation when you agree to disagree, but we can still have that conversation. But if you're just disagreeing totally and not understanding me, then I just have to cut you off, because there's no way, that I'm going to get my piece. So I say that to say, love yourself. And the words of RuPaul, if you don't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen? Boo boo.